Welcome, DFS Army, to another In the Crease main slate for January 30th. And I have with me President Tattoo, who actually changed his name from Tattoo Freaka to President Tattoo. And I also have the one and only Sean Hoy. Hey, guys, how you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just running the country and stuff.
I don't know what that means. This dude's a creature, but we're in here.
I just make up stupid names, whatever I feel like when I'm in this thing.
So we got a pretty
We
good
love you.
slate of games coming up for tomorrow night's main slate of games here. We got quite a few games, actually. It's a big slate. It's 11 games, I believe, on the slate, 10, 11 games on the slate. So this is a massive slate. And Thursdays are usually our massive during the week game slates. And then on the weekend, Saturdays typically is our big slate games of the weekend. So this is actually a really good day to actually really get into like MMEing. I know there's some pretty decent DraftKings contests for MMEing if you have yet to get onto DraftKings, but most of you guys that listen to this show on a weekly basis are on DraftKings pretty heavily, if not on FanDuel heavily. But on DraftKings, they have the mini max contest where it's typically 500 to the top, but on big slates like to tomorrow's slate, you'll actually see it be like $1,000 to first. So that's actually a pretty good payout if you're only paying 50 cents per entry. And it is 150 MME. So it is your traditional MME contest. So I advise you all to get into it. You know, if you have never tried MME and then I would definitely advise doing it at that level first, where you can get yourself comfortable with the domination station and settings of the domination station for MMEing. Learning how to stack and using the domination station for stacking purposes. So it's definitely a really good contest to be able to do that. But there's also the 20 max. $1 entry 20 max on DraftKings. The payouts they fluctuate slate to slate to slate. So the bigger slates, you're usually looking at a $500 payout to upwards of like $750, I believe. But then on the smaller slates, you're looking at more like a $300 payout to first. So, these are pretty good contests for you to like try MMEing. And big slates. You can actually get some pretty good leans on teams that could actually pop off. Like last night, we saw Buffalo of all teams pop off, and it was actually two Hatties in that game. It was Hirka and Tage Thompson that actually crushed last night. And if you didn't have them, you weren't getting first place last night. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, try those contests. And on FanDuel, they have their own slate of contests, where you can MME a little bit. And they got some SEs and single entries that you can actually try 3 maxes over there. But yeah, DraftKings is they have a really good lobby of contests on the big slates. And if for you guys that are actually really high rolling dollar players and you enter in like the $20 MME contests, it's usually like 20 to 30,000, upwards to like 100,000 on really big slates. So check those out. So let's turn over to the slate of games here. We got the slate of games pulled up for tomorrow with potentially the expected goalies in play and the power plays and lines in play here. So, and this is via RotoWire for those that don't know the website that we are actually pulling this up through. So this is RotoWire, and it goes game by game by game here, and we're going to just work our way down through this. So the first game that's up on the slate of games during the 7:00 slate of these games here is Winnipeg traveling to Boston, and they're expecting Connor Hellebuck and Jeremy Swayman to actually be in the net tomorrow. Jeremy Swayman was absolutely trash last night. So, and then it looks like our power plays here, as you can see, we got for Winnipeg, we got Sheffley, Connor, Velarde, Morrissey, Ellers, and then on Boston's power play 1, we got Zaka, Marchand, Pastrnak, Laurie, and then Elias Lindholm. So, and then power play 2 down all the way into the injuries for the game. So I'll turn this over to Sean first. Sean, what's your leans on this game? Where would you look at actually going in this game? One-offs? Would you stack? Would you actually use the goalies for this game? And then I'll turn it over to Tattoo for his opinions.
I actually don't like really anything about this game, to be honest with you. I might have maybe some Ehlers one-offs, but I mean, we did just see Boston get shelled the other night, and that is always a potential. Especially Swayman's had an off year this year, missing training camp and stuff, negotiating for a couple $100,000 and a year and whatever, but Boston's paid the price for that mistake, and I'm not too big on this game. Bunch of 2 slow cycle teams, pretty disciplined. I don't think either goalie is going to get the shot bonus on DraftKings. There's not a whole lot here for me, to be honest with you, because we got to go with the math and the law of averages. Is Swayman going to just get absolutely destroyed twice if he plays? I don't know.
Yeah, and I noticed on last night's slate, and it might have just been because of the opponent that Winnipeg was going up against. But Ehlers, he was 7,000 on DraftKings last night, and I think that is the most expensive I've seen him all year this year. So that's intriguing or concerning is something there, but
I would only do it as a one-off because he doesn't stack with the top line.
Yeah,
it's kind of like leverage.
How about you, Tattoo? How are you looking at this game? Are you on board the same thinking of as Sean here, or do you think you're going to actually use stacks here in this game?
Well, I definitely want really nothing from Boston. And I don't really think I like Helly just for kind of what Sean was saying. I don't think he's going to see the shot volume, and I'm sure he'll be the $8,500 goalie tomorrow or right up there. And yeah, with the prices coming up, they're a pretty expensive stack. There's nobody's crazy priced, but there's no cheapy really to throw in there. They're all, Sheffley, Connor, Velarde, Morrissey, they're all. Kyle Connor's pretty expensive, but yeah. Will I use them if I MME 1,000% because they got the possibility to pop off for 6 goals, and their scoring's pretty centered around that one group. So, yeah, but probably not where I'm gonna go tomorrow.
Hang your hat on. Yeah. I'm in the same boat as you guys. This game, maybe a one-off here or there, but there's really nothing in this game that's anything where I just want to hang my hat on and throw in a 4-man stack from this game or even a 3-man stack from this game. And I completely agree with you guys, especially when Sean said this is probably going to be a slow-paced game. And then with Tattoo saying that that's probably going to lead towards lesser shots on goal. So, that could actually pull Hellebuck completely out of his ability to crush the slate. So from a DraftKings perspective on points. So, but let's turn over to the next game. Minnesota is traveling to Montreal, and it looks like we have confirmation of the goalies that are actually going to be used tomorrow. So Fleury is actually confirmed, as is Dobbs or Dobes in this one. Power play 1 for Minnesota is JEE. We got Zuccarello, Matt Boldy, Brock Faber, and Spurgeon. And then power play 1 for Montreal is Suzuki, Lane, Slavoski, Caulfield and Hudson. How are you guys thinking about this game here in general? Are we going to be looking at this game as a single entry type game to utilize? Are we looking at this game for MME? Are we looking to stack this game up? I'll start with Tattoo this time around.
I don't think I'm probably going to mess with this game. Flowers looked really good this year, in his farewell tour. So that takes me off of Montreal, but Dobes has looked pretty good. Minnesota now doesn't have Cap. They don't score a whole lot of goals anyway. Probably not anywhere I'm going to be outside of maybe the goalies.
And one question before I turn it over to Sean, and this can be for both of you. Break down the Krill's injury and how that's going to impact Minnesota moving forward, especially because, they're starting to lose guys on the defense, and they had some really good defenders go down. How is that impacting the Wild here as we move forward this season?
I say Sean can probably break it down a lot more in depth. My thoughts, I know he's not going to be out long enough to put on IR to help him get that salary relief to trade for anybody. But I think it's going to hurt him with making the playoffs, or he's out a month at least.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they can go close to 500 without him, I think they'll still be in. They'll probably get the first wild card spot this year. But DFS wise, I think the coach has no choice, looking at their bottom six forwards, to kind of rely on the top two lines there. Boldy's just gonna have to step it up. Simple as that. Zuccarello, JEE, Eriksson Ek, and Marco Rossi. But so I think they'll get more minutes, but I think their power play takes a big dive. They're less appealing in general for this stint for me. But they do have good defensive depth too. So even though Brodin going out is a big kick in the nuts, they'll still be somewhat formidable back there.
And so do you think the pace of play of this game actually benefits Montreal at home? Do you think they could be a viable stack, especially on the power play one, line one?
I'm actually going narrative here. I think this is probably Marc-Andre Fleury's last year. And I think he's from that area. He's French Canadian. And this is the Bell Center is always a time. So he's actually going to be one of my highest owned goalies, probably just based on narrative and how he's played. I don't know. It's just a vibes thing for me.
He's 7,900 tomorrow.
Oh, they already got pricing out?
Yeah.
Let me pull that up before.
And then that Jakub Dobish goalie, he started off really hot. He's had a couple of
stinkers,
lesser game. Yeah, he's had a couple of stinkers. I think he's good. This game is just kind of meh for me, but I could have some of either goalie here.
He's 7,500, so he'll be somebody I'll be interested in taking some shots on.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know if Minnesota gets him to 35, but
yeah, if you're MMEing, you want to sprinkle maybe a little bit of both. But it's not something to go crazy overweight on either stack for me.
All right, I got the slate up. So we were talking about. Just want to go back to Winnipeg Boston game for a second. The
Yeah,
prices,
I was going to say something too on that.
so the prices on Connor Hellebuck is 7,800, and then Swayman is just below him at 7,600. So Connor is definitely at a lesser value than we thought he was going to actually come in at. Yeah, so that all makes a lot of sense with both of these two games here. And then let's see, as we move into the next game, the Capitals are actually
Alexa, be
traveling.
quiet.
The Capitals are actually traveling to Ottawa,
Alexa,
and
stop.
we actually don't have confirmed goalies for this game, but they're expecting Charlie Lindgren and Levi Merlanen to take their position in the goals. And then on Washington's power play one is Dylan Strom, Ovi, Tom Wilson, Turin, and Don Carlson. And then on the power play one for Ottawa, we have Tim Steitzel, Brady Tkachuk. We got Batherson, and then we got Sanderson and Giroux. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this game? I'll kick it over to Tattoo. Stacking, single entry, the works from this game.
I really want to like Washington. Their offense just doesn't seem as explosive as it was earlier in the year. They're not putting up 4, 5, 6 goals a game. But Ottawa certainly offers that opportunity if you want to score a bunch of goals. So I think I'll definitely, without seeing how the rest of the slate goes, it's probably Washington's playing a team I'm going to be on.
I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but this game doesn't do it for me either. Both these teams have not given up very many goals this year. And Ottawa, like, for whatever reason, with all the forward talent they have, they can't score. If I was going to go with the side on this game, I'd go the Washington side. I don't mind, OV 2 stacks, 3 stacks in tournaments if you want to like match the field or something. But whoever Washington starts, if it's Lindgren, it doesn't really matter. They're both awesome. Their goalie is probably in play for me.
Yeah, Levi, he's been having a tough go between the pipes this year. He's another guy that's had a tough year. And he's attackable, I believe, in the goal. We can attack power plays against him. We can attack line one against him. So I don't mind Ovi even as a one-off or pair it up with, you could pair him in this one with potentially Strom, but I actually like him paired with Wilson. So if I was doing a cash lineup, you could have those two guys paired together as just a one-off 2-man stack amongst that cash lineup. But until we get actual projections in the domination station, it's really difficult to actually just say, yeah, I'm going to use these guys and that, as a stacking partners together. But yeah, Levi just hasn't gotten it done this year, and he's actually been a goalie that I tend to attack with offenses. So moving on to the next game, maybe we'll have a little bit more.
I was going to say one more thing real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The only thing it's gotten to start to bother me about Ovi some is his price is still up there, but his minutes aren't really there. Like he's playing 15 minutes a game
since come back from injury. Yeah.
So I mean,
he's just a turret on the power play.
He's on. Yeah.
He's just a turret on the power play. Like,
I mean, I watched a game a couple weeks ago after he came back in overtime. He didn't even play. He played one quick shift in overtime, and he wasn't even involved in the shootout.
Yeah, he's never done shootout. Yeah, He's just I don't know. He's pretty one trick, but he's mastered it. But yeah.
Yeah, he's the best at that trick.
All right. So moving on to the next game in this 7 o'clock slate of games here on the main slate. We have Los Angeles Kings traveling to Tampa Bay. It looks like it's expected to have David Rittich in the between the pipes. That's because Darcy is actually going tonight. And then we got Andre Vlasi. He is expected to be in the pipes at home. And then on the power play 1 for the Kings, we have Quentin Bleifeld, Fiala, Kempe, Kopitar, and then Drew Doughty back tonight, and they're expecting him to be on the power play 1 tomorrow as well as tonight. And then power play 1 for Tampa Bay, we have Point, Geitzel, Kucherov, Chaffee, and Radish. And Vlasi at home Vlasi's a goalie that I attack on the road against with offenses, but at home, he's a different level goalie. Like, this guy is insanely good at home. And I don't attack him at all with offenses. And I actually really like him in goal tomorrow. But my problem with him is the fact that I don't know if Los Angeles Kings are going to shoot the puck enough to actually pay off his salary. And where's he at? He is actually he's actually in day-to-day status right now. So let's see what that says. He won't be in lineup for Tuesday's game against Chicago.
He got sick or something last night.
So it looks like he may be okay for tomorrow's slate. So if he's in tomorrow, he's actually 8K on DraftKings. So I don't mind him at that price as a goalie for tomorrow. But what are your guys' thoughts on this game?
Broken record, Sean?
No, I'm actually gonna go overweight on Tampa here. They just got embarrassed at home against Chicago, who sucks, and they cannot be happy. Ottawa actually, I think, overtook them for 3rd place in the division. So, like, they're in the wild card, and it's Tampa. Like, they can't be happy with that. And the Kings are around 500 on the road, and they are the best home team in the league. So there's a little bit of some splits there. I'm just leaning Tampa, even though they're pretty expensive, but they cannot be happy with what's going on.
Yeah, we like to attack David Rittich too, right?
Yeah, Big Save It David sucks. Yeah, that's another point. Yeah, Save It David.
So members, when you see goalies that are bad goalies, we want to attack them, and you can attack them even with the power play too. I mean, this is still a good power play too. I mean, you got Cirelli and Hagel, and then you got Hedman in this power play too with Nick Paul. I mean, those guys are really good players, and that's a really good power play line for Tampa Bay. So, everybody, when they play Tampa Bay, they gravitate towards line 1, power play 1. But, you can get different in tournaments, big tournaments too, when you play the power play 2. So don't just lean all your focus on power play 1s, because there's significant value that can be had when you play in big tournaments and you play like a power play 2 from Tampa Bay. And the fluctuation of the ownership is so big. Like, power play 1, line 1s, the ownership typically for on a slate is up here, whereas power play 2 is way down here. And if you want a good example of this, just look at tonight's slate and look at New Jersey. Power play 1, line 1, Jack Hughes is like 20+% owned. And then you got Jesper Bratt. He is high owned too. And then you got Andrzej Palat. He's high owned too. And but if you look at the power play too, you got Timo, as well as other guys on the power play too that their percentage of ownership is significantly less, like a fourth less. So we're looking at maybe 5 or 6% for those guys, and that's significant. So make sure you guys, when you're building lineups, make sure that you use power play twos where the power play two players are actually producing. Don't just pick a power play two to pick a power play two. Make sure that they're producing as well. Tattoo, what are your thoughts on this game?
I'm probably right there with Sean. The only thing, and I agree with you, they're so expensive. You can't just go shove in Point Getzel, Cooch, where you're just going to completely handicap the rest of your lineup. But yeah, it's a good spot tomorrow.
You could even go Cooch. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'll definitely have some Tampa Bay, and like you said, maybe try to hit that power play two, or maybe even mix and match a little bit to try to get pieces of both.
Yeah, I was going to say you can even do the power play too, like Burns was talking about, and even put Kucherov in there as like kind of a blocker, but also like he could break the slate with his ceiling. And a lot of the times, whether it's late in games or kind of has like that OV role on the power play, even though he like skates, I've seen him be out there for the full 2 minutes. Like the entire power play will change, but he just stays out there because he's Kucherov.
Yeah, it's a couple guys like that just they're the power play. I think Pasta does it a lot too.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to the next section of games here. The last game on the 7:00 slate of games is Chicago traveling into Carolina. Goalies that are expected on this one is Peter Mazurek, and then I'm going to butcher Carolina's guy, but Kucherov. Yeah, I'm just going to butcher it.
Kochetkov.
Yeah,
there you go.
Gucci.
Power play one for Chicago. Connor Bedard, who had an excellent night last night. Teravainen, Bertuzzi, and then we got Foligno and Seth Jones. On power play one for Carolina, we got Aho, we got Mikko, Jarvis, Gostaberry, and Shevchuk. Not good with Chev. I'm just going to say Chev because that's how whenever I'm making lineups with Carolina players, I just go Chev. Yeah, got it. But this game right here may actually be the boner alert. This might actually be our or Sean's boner alert of the night here. So go ahead and take it over, Sean, for that.
Oh my gosh. All right. So we're going to have to figure out who to play for super cheap because I want some Tampa. And then this is going to be my goal of the day tomorrow. If I remember to put it in, is Rantanen's first. Chicago is just not there defensively for this forward group, just straight up. And then Mrazek's not good overall.
Yeah, we want Carolina, Mikko, coming into home field advantage here with Carolina. It's their first time seeing this guy on the home ice. I mean, this is like a coming out party for him. Yeah. Hopefully he comes out and he has a great game. But yeah, there was some depressed pricing on Carolina last night. I saw, Aho, he was like the lowest I've seen him all year. I think he was at 62 or 6,300. Mikko was lower salaried as well. So there was some salary discrepancies that we're normally accustomed to seeing, like Aho at 7,500 to 7,600 and Mikko at 8,800 to 9K. And I think he was at like 8K flat last night. So, but that's also matchup driven, and just the fact that they're playing together for the first time. this year. But now that they have a couple of games underneath their belts, the pricing may be actually better. Let me just take a quick peek at that pricing on these guys. It looks like Aho is back up to 7,300. Miko's at 8,500. So we got normal pricing for these guys now. So that makes a lot of sense because, Chicago is Chicago. We know what Chicago is at this point. We know what Rosrick is in between the pipes. This is an attackable game for Carolina. What are your thoughts, Tattoo?
I don't like Carolina's pricing, and Miko no longer has Nathan McKinnon there with him. So I don't think he's going to be quite the same Miko. Maybe after the Four Nations and him and Aho get some more time together playing. They both play for Sweden, right?
Yeah.
Finland, yeah.
Finland.
Nordic.
One of them other foreign countries. But
Cat's like, they're all white up there.
they're all white and have funny names. But I like some Carolina. I love Ghost, Svetnikov. Taylor
Don't
Hall,
forget Jarvis. I mean,
point. I like
Jarvis. Jarvis has been great this year, though.
Yeah,
He's awesome. 22 years old.
He's only 6,200. I actually let me think about this here. Let me think about this from a salary perspective on this game.
he's always been underpriced.
Tat can put his glasses back on for me.
I think a good way to attack Carolina is to use them in a 3-man, use them as a 3-man in your 4-3 stacks, and use Jarvis, use Goss, and use Chev. And because those guys have had pretty good dynamic this year, those 3 guys. And if you want to make a 4-man, you could use Aho and make it a 4-man. But as a 3-man in your 4x3 stacks, I really do like those 3 guys. I mean, they're lower in salary. Jarvis is 6,200, but Chev he's up there a little bit. He's 64, and then Gost is what's he at? He's probably in the 4s because Brent Burns is 4,700, and then we got. So he's actually a little bit higher. Where is he here? Why can't I find him? Gost is 4,100. So it makes it. It doesn't make it the constraints on your salary that much. So, but when you got Miko, you got Aho and Jarvis, you're constrained on your salary quite a bit. So you have to use more guys like your 2,500 to 3K guys.
And I promise we were paying attention. We were like a little, like you were the teacher and we're the little kids, but Tat was just, he's putting his glasses on, playing with his hair. He's like, I had a casting couch interview. I wasn't ready for it.
Oh, I saw you guys, so don't worry. I saw you. All right. So now we're getting into 7:30 and later games. We got the Islanders traveling into Philly, and we got Sorokin, who's expected to be between the pipes for the Islanders, and we got Ivan Fedorov, who's expected to be between the pipes for Philly because Urson is actually going tonight for Philly. On power play 1 for the Islanders, we got Horvat, Anders Lee, Barzal, Brock Nelson, and D'Angelo. Power play 1, we have Frost for Philly, Tippett, Kuchne, Brink, and Ristolainen. So, and I butchered Rasmus's last name. So
not as bad as Konechny.
Yeah. I gotta get used to this.
I don't think Tat can talk about pronunciation. I was wondering who that was, and I was like, it's
my inability to,
He doesn't
But,
know what Riley Smith is, but
it's
I'll
like
just
Will
be
Smythe.
what I will say is
calls him Smith.
I've been using Rasmus a lot.
You just gotta have nicknames for everybody.
Dude, I've been using Rasmus a lot. And this dude is as a defenseman, this may be one of the most under-owned defensemen that on a slate to slate basis.
He'll be an Oiler soon too.
Yeah, I don't know. But this guy always goes under-owned, like 1-2% ownership. And he pops off. Like he gets it through blocks. Like he typically gets 3+ blocks every other night that he plays, or every 2 nights that he plays, and then he gets a shot or 2 on goal. And then the other night I used him. Crease, he had 2 assists, and he almost hit the bonus with the blocks, and he almost hit the bonus with the shots on goal. So for a guy that's like $3,400,
I don't think he's that much.
And, well, he will be tomorrow.
33 tonight or something like that.
Yeah, he will be 3,400 tomorrow. But a guy like that can get you that type of production, and he's at 3,400, and he has the potential to pop off for 15 to 20 DraftKings points. That's significant, and I use him quite a bit in my defense positions, and I use him as one-offs, and I think he's a great defenseman. What are your guys' thoughts on this game and that in general?
That's the longest Rasmus Ristolainen plug I've ever heard, and I like it. And I think you should buy his Team Finland jersey.
The D Whisper.
If you show up to a Jackets game in a Rasmus Ristolainen Finland jersey, I might have to
get beat up.
No, no one know what the hell that is.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
I mean, I'm perfectly fine with him, but like I got nothing against him, and he is solid. But with Philly playing tonight, and I'm sure the game's going on now, and I'm not paying attention to it, but they're probably going to lose to New Jersey tonight, and the Islanders just play like annoying. I'm not like in love with this game, but if I was going to go with a side, I'd probably go with the Islanders.
Dang, man, because Minnesota's up 2-0 right now in Toronto.
Sean, can you tell me the first guy's name who scored for Minnesota?
Let me see.
Marat?
Tonight? I haven't looked. Yeah.
It is I can't do that name.
Oh, hold on.
No, I'm not doing that name.
They gotta find the box score. Who'd they play? Wild versus
It's Marat.
Wild. Who are they playing tonight? I didn't even pay attention.
Toronto.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even going there with that name.
Diarrhea.
Let me do this for you.
That's a name where Marat. I can't pronounce your last name.
I've never heard of him. That dude's name is Scrabble from now on.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
Kuznetsov.
Kushnutdinov. Yeah, Kushnutdinov.
I think
maybe you say close. It with a Russian accent. You can just
Kushnutdinov.
Kushnutdinov. Give that man his money.
We'll just name him MK. Boom.
We'll probably never hear him motherfucker again. We probably don't have to worry about it.
But yeah, yeah, you're right. On a B2B, Philly and Ivan is just not. He's nothing special between the pipes. I think you could fire up the Islanders, especially the power play 1 on this game, and be perfectly fine. You could do a 3 or a 4-man stack with them. You can do them in single entry. They will be owned. Don't think that the Islanders are going to be a team that goes overlooked tomorrow. They're never a team that goes overlooked. They will be owned. They'll be in the teens to low 20s and ownership, depending on the type of contest.
Not to cut you off, but is that just mainly due to like their pricing? They're just easy to stack. Okay,
I really think so. Let me check the pricing again, but I think
They're all
That's
like
most of
usually
these
how-
guys are 5 to
under
6K.
6K ish.
Yeah.
They put up a lot of points without even scoring a lot somehow.
And a plug potentially is Pietrangelo is pulling out of the Four Nations for Team Canada. I don't know if they've announced if Doughty's going to take the spot, but
They
Noah
said
Noah Dobson for me.
maybe Chris Tanev.
Yeah. Noah Dobson for me should like be in consideration. Maybe he's just like, hey, don't forget about me.
Darnell Nurse is in contention too. They said.
So why
I
is
think they want a defensive guy.
why is Alexis pulling out?
A nagging injury.
Oh, okay.
Even though he's playing, he's just preferring his team. You know, John Tavares, like a decade or so ago when he was in the Olympics for Canada, he just like it's not like his fault specifically, but he basically ruined the Islanders franchise between him tearing his leg up in the Olympics and then leaving in free agency for Toronto. They don't like him there.
Gotcha.
Like these guys can get hurt because they're playing real hockey in these tournaments.
Yeah.
Tony D'Angelo to get back on our first power play.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
All right.
D'Angelo's playing. I think Dobson.
Well, moving on into the
Beat
next
that
slate,
tonight.
into the basically the later part of the slate, the late night games from 9
good
to
part.
10 o'clock and later start times. We got the first game to kick off is Anaheim traveling to Calgary, and they're expecting John Gibson to be in goal for Anaheim and Dustin Wolf in goal for Calgary. On power play 1 for Anaheim, we got Strom, Vatrano, Terry, Lacombe, McTavish, and then power play 1, Cherigovich, Hubero, Coronado, Kadri, and Uyghur. What are your guys' thoughts on this game? I've used Anaheim a lot in like cash and single entry contests. I think they pair so well. Vetrano and Terry pair so perfectly together. They're like two M&Ms out there just traveling in tandem in sync. And McTavish has actually been a pleasant surprise on the power play 1 for them.
Yeah,
So I really like those three guys together. I actually pushed Strom out of my stacks with them because of McTavish's recent rapport with Terry and Vetrano. So I really like Anaheim. They produce. It's not like they just go out and they suck. These guys actually produce on a night-to-night basis. And you're going to have games where these guys just don't produce. I mean, that's hockey, but they produce more often than they haven't. And I like the fact that these guys are younger and they're starting to gel as a unit on this power play 1. But what are your guys' thoughts on this game in general and stacking it and using it in certain types of contests?
I'm just gonna X this one out, except for the goalies. Just on a big slate like that, I do agree with you about the pricing and the correlation with Anaheim. The Flames, just like a mishmash of nonsense with their lines. Even though they are like a good hockey team, we don't care about good hockey teams. We care about fantasy points. They don't do it for me, but both of the goalies, like whether it's Dostal or Gibson, like it says, or if assuming Dustin Wolf goes for Calgary, especially, the goalies are in play, not the skaters for me. If it's Dan Vladar for some reason for Calgary, then you can go Anaheim fully. Dan Vladar sucks.
I 100% agree with that take, Sean. I was just going to say that. But Kadri, he always projects to be a guy that projects to have a lot of shots on goal. And Kadri, but he's also very expensive. Like he's in the upper 6s most nights. And that just doesn't do it for me unless he scores a goal or gets an assist and like the 5 shots on goal bonus. But night to night, he just Yeah, he has those nights where he pops off and he gets 20 plus, but I don't know. It's not like he's getting 20 plus like out of 5 games, 2 or 3 times out of those 5 games. He's getting it maybe once if lucky. So I don't know. I'm not a big Kadri guy in tournaments, but maybe in cash he's better.
I heard he might go get traded back to Colorado.
Oh, really? Wow.
I don't. That's what everyone wants because you want.
It's not what I want.
But Calgary, freaking, they're gonna make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I was like,
they're gonna make a wild card spot.
But I can get behind it a little bit of Anaheim. It's tough to attack Wolf, but if some of their salary, McTavish, could help me get into some other stacks, I might one off or 2-man, something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think my boner alerts are coming up after these next 3 games.
Somewhere in maybe the next game potentially.
That one and the one after that.
Okay.
And the one after that too.
All right. Yeah, one of my favorite players that I use in cash all the time is coming up. So we'll see what Sean thinks of him coming up here.
I hate him.
All right. So moving on into the next 9:00 game, we have Detroit traveling to Edmonton. Cam Talbot is expected to be in goal for Detroit, and Skinner is actually expected to be in goal for Edmonton. On the power play 1 for Detroit, we have Larkin, DeBrincat, Raymond, Casper, Cedar. And then on power play 1 for Edmonton, we have Connor, Leon, Hyman. We have RNH and Bouchard. So let me kick it over to you, Tattoo. This is one of your BAs?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Boner alert.
We owe Detroit a kick in the teeth. And I hope it comes tomorrow. Stuart Skinner's a better goalie than people give him credit for, because sometimes we play shitty defense in front of him. But he's a good goalie, but I still think both sides are live. Detroit, they can just, that they can put up some goals in a hurry. Edmonton doesn't play the first period. Like, they suck. They don't start playing till second period. So, I mean, if you watch your last 10 games, they're almost always behind by giving up a couple goals in the first period. So I definitely have no problem with Detroit, but I think the Oilers get rolling tomorrow. And I think McDavid and Draisaitl are big parts of that. Corey Perry's putting up goals this year.
That's good.
Yeah, little touches, little details.
Yeah, I'm all over Edmonton tomorrow.
Yeah,
he's a homer.
They are extremely pricey. I love Edmonton on a night-to-night basis. They're one of the, if they're on a slate, it's like almost everybody just goes, Edmonton, yes. But now how do I stack them? And that's where it becomes tricky. Because, Connor and Leon, they're not, like, Leon is always upper 8s. And Connor is low 9s and pushing to mid 9s.
Leon's more expensive than McDavid on FanDuel.
And they typically don't get the bonuses. They just need to score a shit ton of points.
So Connor is 9,500 tomorrow.
About 87-ish.
Where is Leon? They got him on the wingy now? They got Leon on the wing now. On DraftKings, they have him listed as a
A
winger.
winger. Yeah.
Wait, what
No,
happened?
dude.
What were their practice lines? Are they overstacking? I haven't paid attention.
He's been
If they're
on. Well,
overstacking, that's
the last game they had McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman the first line. So McDavid's the center.
well, it's something to pay. Something to pay attention to tomorrow, like early afternoon, because like this game's gonna be really popular for good reason. I haven't looked at the Detroit pricing, but that's kind of like where I would sort of lean, just because where I'm spending my money tomorrow. I love Rantanen, I love Tampa, but
So Raymond is 6K. DeBrincat is
Wow.
5,900.
there you.
And then
would-
Larkin is 63.
Even though Edmonton like could get there and break the slate, whatever, like an interesting way if you want to game stack this like late or whatever, like however you want to do it, would be to go Detroit side and then just like one off Hyman or something.
Yeah, this game's going to be very difficult to stack on the
Or get like a
Edmonton side.
Bouchard RNH or something.
Well,
Yeah,
I think you
so-
could use like Arvidsson to save some salary. Like you said, we need to see who's playing with who tomorrow. But
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And this
And-
game's going to be extremely hard to stack, especially now that we have Leon as a wingy. So,
I think it's just a game you want to get some exposure to.
oh, I 100% agree. I just don't think like this could be if you are setting up your stacks and your max percentage of stacks, I don't think Edmonton in the domination station will show up in 30% of your stacks
No.
because of the fact that they're so expensive. Like to stack Connor and Leon, it's going to cost you $18,600 just for the two of them. And then you
Yeah,
add
I'll
in,
get a couple pieces, and then my favorite stack is coming up that's more affordable. So,
yeah. So like to do a 4-man stack on the power play one, Bouchard is completely out of it. You can't even use him if you're using Leon and Connor together. RNH is mid fours, and
Hyman,
Hyman is 63. So that puts us around 25, 20.
My stack's kind of
28.
mid-priced. I really like if assuming Sider is still PP1 for Detroit, he blocks a lot of shots too. He can just get all the bonuses potentially.
Yeah, he's been shooting the puck more too. So, all right. Yeah, that'll be a game where I could see a lot of action on that game.
and if Ekholm is out, somebody else is going to get some more.
Darnell.
Yeah, him or somebody else is going to get some more playing time with the
You think
bigger
Scott
guys.
Mayfield might come up?
Troy Stetcher maybe, or Kulak.
You think Mayfield might? No, Mayfield's on Islanders. Sorry.
Islanders.
Yeah, Kulak might actually get some more play that way, but okay. All right. And then as we get further along here, we start to hit the late slate. We got Columbus traveling into Vegas. Elvis is expected to be between the pipes tomorrow for Columbus, and then we got Aiden Hill, who's expected to be between the pipes for Vegas. On the power play one for CBJ, we got Fantelli, we got Voronkov, Marchenko, Werniewski, and Kent Johnson. Power play one for Vegas, we got Eichel, Dorovev, Stone, Hurdle, and we also have Theodore. So I do like this game a lot. My only thing for CBJ is they're on the road. I love them at home. I attack them at home, and I'm sure you do, Sean, too, from a DFS perspective. And I tend to not attack them as much on the road. But I also don't like attacking really good goalies. And Aiden Hill is an excellent goalie in his own right. And I think this is going to be a tough one for CBJ out in Vegas. But the one guy that I tend to use almost exclusively in one of my defensive spots is Werniewski. I love him, and he goes completely unowned in cash games. And I may go right back to him. He's typically a positive EV play on a night-to-night basis, no matter what his salary point is. He's gotten upwards into the 9K salary on a couple of slates about a week or two ago, and he still produced, and he produces on a night-to-night basis in the mid-teens to low teens as a floor. And then his ceiling is upwards of 30 to 40 DraftKings points, if not higher. But this is a tough game for CBJ in that respect. Vegas is a real deal team. Everyone knows this. It's not a mystery. But Sean, walk me through this game and walk me through how you would attack this game from a DFS perspective.
I'm probably in the minority here, and I don't really love this, like either side. Aiden Hill is an excellent goalie, like you said. And even though Elvis's splits home versus away is like pretty egregious, he's on a hot streak right now. And when Elvis is on a hot streak, it's a little scary. And Vegas's top dogs are kind of expensive. So this is just kind of like, if I went with one of the sides, it would be the Vegas side. CBJ pricing has popped up a little bit, like in general, but it took a little dip from what I saw. Like Marchenko came back down a little bit, but this is also a very young team, and Vegas is one of the probably top 5 or top 10 like venues in the sport. So like these kids will get up for the game too. Like this isn't just like, oh, we're gonna go to Ottawa or some shit. Like kind of like Montreal or Toronto, Madison Square Garden. Vegas is like a spectacle. So this is just kind of like a wild card game for me. Like I don't know what to expect, so it just kind of scares me.
How about you, Tattoo? How are you looking at this game?
It's a shame that Elvis is not the Vegas goalie, so he could be in Vegas all the time. But I will be attacking Elvis with Vegas line 2. That's my go-to line on them. I don't even hardly ever mess with Eichel or Stoner. I like give me Hurdle, Dorofeev, Shea Theodore. And that's how I'm going to start a ton of my lineups tomorrow. Because they're all pretty
Ninja Hurdle.
What?
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Hurdle.
Tomas Hertel.
Yeah, I like Hurdle. I've been using him a lot in lineups when they play.
And Olofsson, or what's his name from Frozen?
Olaf.
Yeah, but I really
watch that.
I really like that's a good movie. It's a really good movie. But I like Vegas tomorrow, and yeah, I don't think I want to try to attack Aiden Hill. So.
Yeah, I'm just picturing Tat on a Saturday just eating gummies and watching Frozen in his underwear.
I actually was dating a girl at the time that came out on DVD, and she had a young daughter, so I had to watch it nonstop. Until I introduced her to The Land Before Time, something I could enjoy more.
All right,
That's
let's
such a
close this bitch
forgotten
out.
great one, The Land Before Time.
And then at the last night of the game, last game of the night, we have the Sharks traveling into Seattle. Askarov has been confirmed as the goalie starting for the Sharks. Joey Decord is expected to be in goal for the Kraken on power play 1. Celebrini, Eklund, Toffoli, Wallman, and Granlund, even though Granlund is in a day-to-day status. So keep an eye on that for Granlund. And then power play 1 for Seattle is Beniers, Schwartz, Workstrand, Dunn, and Stevenson. How are we attacking this game? Sharks have been like DFS gold lately, man. These guys are great, young, and just producing DraftKings points like left and right. These guys, especially Celebrini. I mean, that guy is.
God,
been
can
on
you imagine
fire.
if Columbus would have got Celebrini? Sean,
I
how
don't
do you
wanna
feel
talk
about that?
I mean,
But
we're
him
already
and,
going to be really good for a while.
But Celebrini, him,
He's a
Eklund,
dog.
and Toffoli, I mean, these guys have a connection. There is a significant
Mhm.
connection that's formed there over the course of this season. And
Even though
it's
I
getting
pray
stronger.
Toffoli gets traded to a contender. He deserves it.
And then you add in like Wallman, he's starting to produce more
Yeah.
as the season has progressed.
Yeah,
And
Detroit,
Yaskarov,
good job.
Yaskarov's been pretty decent in between the pipes for San Jose. Whenever you see Georgiev in the between the pipes, it's like, oh yeah, let's load up, right? But we don't get him in the pipes between the pipes this week or tomorrow. So I would pump the brakes on Seattle a little bit here. Askarov is a pretty decent young goalie. And he's a guy that you might want to think twice about loading up against. That's all I want to say on that on the Sharks goalie. And he's produced pretty good scores via the road contest and at home. So he is a pretty
held
decent young up and
Pittsburgh to
coming
1
goalie.
goal the other night.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on this game? Is this a game where you're attacking it from all angles, or you just attacking from one side?
I'll go first so Tat can just blow his load at the end. His guys, dude. I don't, especially on a big slate. I'm not going stacking against Joey Decord. Dude's legit, especially if it is him. If it's Grubauer, then I will go with Tat's boys, his Sharkies. But other than that, not really. Seattle, I just refuse to play. Like, it's just, no, I'm good. Pretty much just in general, just nothing about them is really exciting. They don't really have superstars.
Yeah.
And they don't, like, Schwartz has been pretty consistent, but he's been like banged up, I think. I don't even know. I don't really care about this game. Sorry, Tat. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I agree. Joey Decord's a good, above average. I mean, definitely goalie. Yeah, if it's Grubauer, I'll like froth at the mouth. But San Jose is not a team I'm going to be trying to jam in my single entries or my 3-man or something like that. But I mean, if it's a single entry that's got a larger field, then I might. But I definitely will be looking to get some San Jose in there. I like Askarov in goal. I'm sure I haven't looked, but I have to imagine he's at the bottom of the 7Ks if he's not in the 6.
He is. Give me a second. I'll pull it up. Askarov is 7,100.
Which is bad. Seattle's probably not going to shoot a ton, but he's
They're going to be
7,100.
around 25 shots on goal.
Yeah, Celebrini, Eklund, Toffoli, Wallman, Zeddy.
Yeah.
I think all of them. I don't know if Granlund's gonna be out or not, but
Mm.
I definitely will. Like I said again, it's not a single entry cash play, but definitely a team I will be working into some lineups.
Yeah, you will take your chances.
I know.
I know.
But so that is our last game of the night on in the crease here. It is a really good slate. There's gonna be some games that just pop off. We see it every night almost. Or two pops off, or even upwards of like 3 or 4 games pop off. You get 4+ goals. Um, I think last night we had 4 games with 4+ goals last night. So, and that was even a short slate last night. Um, so, or no, it was a bigger slate. Was it 10? It was 8 games. But you'll see 4+ goals scored. But yeah, there will be games that pop up. There'll be games that you're unexpected. Like it's just hockey. That's just how it goes. And
See who
so,
scored for New Jersey?
but just keep in perspective of the contests. If you haven't tried MMEing, try DraftKings mini maxes. If you don't feel comfortable fully putting 150 lineups in, go slow. Try 50 and work up from there. And that's basically the best way to attack like MMEing is start slow and build up from there. But this is a really good slate. I think this slate presents a lot of uniqueness. It presents a lot of challenges for lineup building. You can't just go studs in lineup building and studs and scrubs. You need to really take a strong look at this slate of games and really try to hone in on guys that have plus EV value, especially for cash games. Any parting thoughts for you guys as well?
I was just gonna say not to get too deep in the weeds, but do you want to explain like plus EV to people?
Yeah. So pretty much any sport, it'll be about the same. So when I look at a player plus EV, I look at a guy who has a projection, and I look at players around him, and if his projection is, it's kind of like a significantly higher projection than another guy around him, he's probably going to have a plus performance versus the other guys around him. I think like to last night, a guy that I used in cash was actually Hurdle. And he was projected at 12 points, but people around him in his salary range. So what I mean by around him is in his salary range, they were like 9, 10. So you get a guy that's like $100 or $200 different from another guy, but he's projected, 2 points greater. There's something there that is worth attacking, and more often than not, it's something that could actually lead to a positive situation for that player that has a better projection. It's similar to when we use the props projection in NFL, where a guy, if you look across the salary range of like 4 to 5K, and one guy has like a props projection of like 12, and then another guy has a props projection of like 8. Well, there's something there. And it's similar for the NHL projections. So, utilize that. But plus EV, we tend to think about plus EV by just how a player looks compared to another player within his salary range.
Yeah, that's why I think it's important when you're going through all the tools to sort by all different categories to see. Because I like sorting by salary and going through, and then you see something to just pops out like in a certain area, like holy shit, like this guy really stands out among his
Yeah.
peers.
Yeah, and the higher the point per dollar, the better the play. And this comes into play in NBA quite frequently for
No talk
NBA players that are trying to, move into the NHL world. You guys know that the higher the point per dollar play, those guys are probably going to be higher owned, but they're also going to be they're also going to produce. Well, NHL, the variance of NHL is much more significant than NBA, but those guys with a high point per dollar, um, there's a reason why they have a high point per dollar, and they could actually pop off. Are they always going to pop off? No, but the likelihood that they do pop off is greater than the guys with the lower point per dollar.
Yeah, and with one football game left and whatnot, people might be coming into our streets, and our streets are friendly. We don't have. It's not just Tat. And he's just a bouncer. He'll let you in. You can come down our street.
If I'm the toughest guy on the street, then it's
we'll make
Sesame
make a bunch of money together. I accept tips. Tat accepts feet pics and OnlyFans subscriptions.
Oh God, no, I do not.
Yeah, you do.
Turn you into the FBI if you send me feet pics.
No, he wants your feet pics, and then tomorrow I got the. Tomorrow I'm on. Tampa's my main stack. Mikko Rantanen scoring his first goal as a Hurricane, and Fleury, the narrative, French Canada. Let's go. That's it for me.
Yeah, and I'm not in the NHL talk channel a lot. I'm in there. I pretty much just hover in there, see what everyone's saying and stuff like that. But I'm in the Shark Lab channel all the time. So if you have a question and you want to pop it in there, I'll more than likely answer it as well. But the Shark Lab, channel, I know it has been an NFL channel for the NFL season, but it can gravitate towards the NHL because I am a full bore NHL right now, pretty much on a nightly basis. So ask your questions away to me if you have any questions for me in that channel. Obviously, NHL Talk channel is awesome channel to ask any questions that you have, because Sean, Tattoo, and Darth Pasta are amazing coaches at the for the NHL.
There's some sharp guys in there too.
Absolutely, and members that are in there, they're quite sharp. So if you do have a question, please ask it in any one of those channels, and it'll definitely get answered, especially if you are newer to NHL and you just don't quite have the grasp of it like you do other sports. There are little tricks that do come with NHL, just like every other sport. There's little nuances, but people are there to help each other, and just know that as we move forward through the big Four Nations tournament, don't know if DraftKings will have slates on that or not, but we move into that, and then we move out of it, and we get back into full bore NHL as we move through the rest of the season and into Stanley Cup playoffs. It'll be exciting time in the NHL talk, and I couldn't be happier to be a part of it with these guys. They're great coaches. They produce great content. They produce great tools. So by all means, I hope everybody that wants to try NHL pop over and utilize the tools.
Yeah, and one final thing. A while ago, I wrote a piece about the Four Nations, like guessing the rosters and like having like my favorite, like depending on like the odds, and I had Sweden as like a team that had legit odds at the time, but with Markstrom down, I don't like them as much. And Finland's defense sucks. So if you're gonna bet I would go US or Canada, and I'm leaning with the US right now with Hellebuck.
Sounds awesome for Four Nations. That'll be coming up here later this month, middle of February into the conclusion of February.
12th.
Yep. So be on the lookout for that. I know most DFS Army members that are pretty much regulars in the NHL, they know that that is coming to be in the coming weeks and into next month. So be on the lookout for that. Some great hockey that is always going to be played in that. Got some great players, great goalies. So be on the lookout for that. It's just probably going to be a really good watch as well. So, and so one last departing message. Just get, for any new sport, just dip your feet into that cold ice that we like to call our rink of it for the NHL. Just dip your feet in. Start slow, build up from there. And don't be bashful on the cash games. Those cash games are actually winnable at any individual contest entry level that there is. But if you see me in there, you might want to stay away. No, just kidding. But for Tattoo, President Tattoo, and Sean, I am Shark Lab, and we bid you adieu. Have a good night, everyone.